trash. All right, let's take this thing out of here. This is a project that I started, well, I started it maybe 10 years ago. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm lying about that 10 years. Might be more like 12 or 14 years ago. But this is a old chopper bike, and it's all the equipment out of an old electric scooter. It's only a 250 watt motor, only needs 14 amps to run. So this should be plenty to power it. I made this battery holder on my 3D printer. I put a video up on putting it together and all that stuff. I got it off Thingiverse. 56 volts coming out. I've got a reducer, voltage reducer. 24 volts output, 22 amps. Should be enough to run that motor. That motor only, according to the data plate, only requires 15 amps to run it. Well, 14.2 is what it says. So that should work. I've got a fuse coming out of the battery, and I'm going to put a fuse coming out of this. I'm going to try a 15 amp fuse first and then go to a 20 amp fuse. That way it'll be protected more than what its internal protections are, if it has internal protection. Let's see if we can get it running. Oh yeah, I cut the original tube out of here so that the motor had clearance, and then I welded all this stuff in. So I had a motor bracket and then put some bracing back into it. Yeah, she's ugly. Let's see what we can make it do. There's a little bit of air left in the tires. Not much. Not much at all. So I hooked the battery up to it real quick to check it out and see if everything still worked. And after messing around with it for about 15 minutes, it finally dawned on me that a 24 volt system will not work on 12 volts. But once I hooked 24 volts to it, so now that I have everything working, I can go ahead and start doing the rest of the stuff to get this thing running on the Ego battery. First thing to do is find a location to mount the battery, and this looks like a good spot for it. I have to make sure it stays all the way down because the battery comes off this way. The small battery clears by a good inch or so, but the bigger battery's going to be a little tight in there if I don't keep this all the way to the bottom. What I'm going to do to mount this, I'm just going to use a regular hose clamp and just bend it so that it'll fit my application here. And I just took a piece of cardboard, laid it around there, checked my distance, got something that was about right, and went over, checked out my clamp assortment, found something that's about the right size. I'll just bend that over to a 90 degree like I did this one, and I'll have 4 bolts holding that on like that. And then find a place to mount this, which I think right in here. Then we hook some wires together and give it a test. All right, I've come up with a general idea of how to mount this without actually involving any generals. Something like that. Another hose clamp back there, and then this will just bolt to the top of that metal plate. Oh yeah, that's a metal plate, by the way. It's just an optical illusion that it looks like cardboard. Of the 3 people who watch my videos, one of you might want to know how I did this, so Drilled a hole at each end so the slot that I cut doesn't crack out. I cut that with a Dremel, cutoff wheel, abrasive cutoff wheel, and a Dremel. And then I'm just going to tap this side down just enough so that I can get a hose clamp through there. Do I know if this is going to work? It should. And I'm going to have to straighten this out a little bit because it's curved. This was done with a crimping tool, an air-powered crimping tool that's made to put a lip on a piece of sheet metal to do an overlap weld, spot welds. This tool right here. And yeah, put it in there upside down. That way, click, 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 click. Yeah, and when you're doing this and you run it all the way around it a couple times, don't end up flipping it over and then go back around it one more time, because then you have to redo everything. Anyway, and if you're going to do projects like this, you got to have a few clamps of various kinds around. All the old hose clamps and project hose clamps and all that kind of stuff. Clamps. Like if you need a clamp, you buy a box of 25 or 50, and then you have plenty of that size, so you won't have to buy any more for a while, maybe. And now I find out if these are bent down far enough for this to fit through here. That one went through. And that will mount on there something like this. And then we will bolt this to it with 4 small screws. Universal attachment, I'll be able to use that on anything I want to use it on if I want to take this off and put it on something else. But for now, I think what I'm going to do, do I want to paint that now or do I want to put this thing together? All right, soldered a few electrical connections together and waiting on the paint to dry on my little bracket for down there. But now is the moment of truth. And I'm going to see what happens. So this is my switch up here. I didn't hear it click. Now I heard a click. It works. We have rotation. Yeah, I'm hooking up the wrong wire. That's what the problem is. Hook that wire up. The other wire is for the headlight. And I painted that. I know, normally on my project stuff doesn't get painted. Well, not very often anyway. So I've got a little platform to mount my voltage reducer on. I think this is going to work. There we go. Also, I added a switch here because every time I put the battery in, well, I didn't notice it every time because it's kind of deep down in there where the contacts touch, but I was noticing it was sparking. So I put a switch in here so I can turn the power off between these two so that there's no arcing at the connection in the battery, so I don't mess up the connections over time. Anyway, gonna shoot a little test ride a little bit later. It does work. I did take it up and down the street and then it started raining, so we're not gonna do a test ride right now. Maybe in a little while I'll get one to put on the end of this video, but this worked. 25 amp fuse coming off the battery, and I have a 20 amp fuse coming off this side of this 22 amp power supply, which should protect it rather well. So with this only being a 250 watt motor, I don't expect this thing to move very fast, and I did take a little quick test ride on it just before I finished up this. It'll do about 15 miles an hour, get 18 or 19 on a slight downhill. Didn't try it down any big hills. But the one problem I see with this thing, the way it's set up, is this is the sprocket that was on the little scooter that I took this stuff out of, and the scooter tire was only this big. So if I was going to proceed with this project and keep using this motor, I would put some kind of a counter shaft in here and, you know, go from here to a bigger gear and then a smaller gear back to there, so I get a little bit more gear reduction. I think that would let this motor turn a little bit faster. I don't think I'm going to carry on with this project any further with this motor. But I did learn a lot about putting this and this together. It does put out the power I need to be able to run a motor. I don't know how big of a motor you'd be able to run. Probably, you know, way bigger than that, 2 or 3 times the size of that. I'll put a link in the description to the stuff that I use to do this. And if you do it at your own risk. And the possibility of letting the magic smoke out of everything is real. I mean, I let a little bit of smoke out of one connector, but not too bad. All right, well, if you do this, good luck. And somebody's going to want to know what kind of voltage this puts out. It's right at 24, sitting static. Get the motor turning, drop just a little bit, 23.8. Make it work a little bit. Almost stalling the motor right there, 23.3. Pretty good. Switch on. Throttle up. Oh, we made it to 14 miles an hour coming this way. Crash! Oops.